Hello and welcome back to the Ghosty Girls podcast.
We missed you. We love you.
Love you.
I feel like I always say the same thing.
It's okay. It's like our signature now.
We missed you. We loved you. Welcome back. Don't forget to likey and subscribey. That
like,
was
comment,
super.
Subscribe.
Yeah, we love you. I don't know what else to say. Please delete that. Let's start this whole thing again.
Can you believe that Thanksgiving? What in the shit?
Her cat just ran up and attacked her.
Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, can you believe that Thanksgiving is this week?
I can, and I'm ready for it, and I want some motherfucking turkey.
I mean, I'm ready for it, but I just feel like this year fucking flew by.
I know it did.
How are we in November already? We're almost in December.
I don't know, but my Scorpio sisters in Christ,
Yep.
we are our season's almost over.
Scorpio season went by really fast.
It did.
We're about to enter Sag
Oh,
territory.
shit.
Buckle the fuck up. It's about to be Sag season.
It's Sag season, guys.
Y'all have no idea what the fuck's even coming.
Stay in
And
your...
Sags don't either because we don't know what we're about to do before we do it.
No, listen, there's all these full moons and weird stuff going on, man. You guys are going to be straight chaos.
Probably.
I'm here to witness it, though. I'm here. You need me, girl, you call me. I'll be right there with you.
Sags are always chaos, but we're like organized chaos.
I am unorganized chaos.
The Scorpios are pretty much unorganized chaos.
Yeah, we're just fucking nightmare.
Sagittarius is organized.
But we're loyal.
That's true. That's a very good quality. Sags are loyal too.
Yep.
That's why we get along so
But you
well.
know who isn't? These hoes ain't loyal.
You know who's not loyal? D's hoes.
These nuts.
So, what is your favorite thing about Thanksgiving?
Did you just ask me that?
Yes, I did.
Sticking my dick in the mashed potatoes. I'm sorry, I don't have a dick, but honestly, the food.
You guys should see like my face right now.
She's crying.
That was fucking amazing.
Have you ever listened to the Beastie Boys?
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome for that reference then. If y'all don't know the Beastie Boys, Google them. They're the best ever. Top three.
So in addition to sticking my dick in mashed potatoes, I love green bean casserole.
I just like all the food, honestly. But
Yeah.
when
green bean casserole is my fucking jam, though.
yes, unless they put bacon in it and then fuck that green bean casserole. That's weird.
What in the Caucasian is bacon in green bean casserole?
That's how you know it's white, because they put bacon and no other seasonings. They're like, oh, the bacon will add flavor. Bitch!
I fucking hate that. I've never had bacon in green bean casserole, and I swear to God, I will leave someone's Thanksgiving table if they put that shit in front of me.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What about sausage and stuffing?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't belong in stuffing.
Agreed.
I'm sorry.
Agreed. However,
Wait, that's like a country thing though, right? A southern thing?
yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's just because us northerners don't do that. Maybe it is really good, but I just feel like it doesn't belong.
So my mother-in-law makes it for my brother-in-law.
Okay.
He loves the sausage stuffing.
No.
Yeah, so I don't eat cows or pigs. So,
Right.
I mean, I've never tried it, but they say it's pretty good. So maybe I'll try to steal you some so you can try it and tell me.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you though.
Fair enough.
I'm a traditional girl. I'm a traditional Thanksgiving girly.
Cranberry or no cranberry?
Get out of my fucking head.
I won't. I won't.
I was just going to say, I am so traditional about Thanksgiving food that I actually make homemade, authentic cranberry sauce.
I tried that once.
I don't do the can.
How much sugar do you use?
A lot.
Same.
You know what else I do? Orange juice.
Mm.
It fucking slaps. If you don't do that, try orange juice in your cranberry sauce. It's just, mwah, chef's kiss. I know you can't see me, but I really did.
She's doing it. She did it this time.
It just takes it up a level. Like I've made that for Thanksgivings, and people that don't like cranberry sauce have eaten it, and they were like, "Holy shit, this is amazing."
So I have to give you a recipe too. Like, you can totally take this out, but I'm going to tell you a recipe for a baller ass drink.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of American honey?
No.
So it's wild turkey 101 blended with a honey liqueur that's made from real honey. It's 71 proof. It gets the extra one from the Wild Turkey
Holy
101.
shit.
So it's not like, I mean, it's high.
That's a lot.
You can just do a shot. Listen, if you are ever sick, throw that shit in some hot tea. You're good. You're good. Solid. But that with in a crock pot with apple cider, slowly bring it up to a heat with like cut one orange into slices and throw that in.
Oh
my God.
That sounds really good.
It
you
is.
know what I'd also want to throw in there? Cinnamon sticks. Just because I like throwing cinnamon sticks and shit when it's like fall.
I mean,
throw that bad boy in there.
We're the basic of bitches. So of course you have to have cinnamon sticks.
Yeah. I people shit all over being basic. I have a lot of basic bitch tendencies, and it is what it is. I'm okay with it.
Guess what my girl said earlier? She is going to get a fanny pack for her Stanley, and she's not scared of it. She's owning it.
You're going to make me admit this on a podcast. So yes. Alicia, for my birthday, because like I said, I'm a Sagittarius, so my birthday is coming up. It's in December. You can always send gifts,
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I didn't get any. No, I'm just kidding. Christina gave me baller ass gifts. I'm going to Ulta later.
Alicia got me, I'm holding it right now because I love it so much, the pink Starbucks Stanley Cup. And I have never been a Stanley girl. I think with this cup, I think I'm a Stan girl. It just makes me want to get like accessories for it, like how they have the fanny packs and the sleeve, and they have little fucking book bags and
they do
keychains for your Stanley Cup, and I feel like I'm just gonna make that my aesthetic, and I don't know why. It just makes me want to have that aesthetic
because you can bling it out too.
Oh yeah.
And they have a little like holder. It's like a holder with a strap. You can also wear it like a satchel.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I mean, just put Skittles in it.
I will do that.
I know.
Don't tempt me with
I know.
a good time. So, you think of a lot of things when you think of Thanksgiving. Murder's usually not one of them, right?
I mean, murdering turkeys, bless their little hearts.
What about murdering humans?
No.
Yeah.
Except for that movie, Thanksgiving.
Really fucking good movie, by the way.
It is so good.
Yeah. So today, for Thanksgiving week, I am going to talk about Michael Merhige and the Thanksgiving Day Massacre. This is pretty recent.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Trigger warning. This is a fucking horrific story. I was almost in tears researching this because you'll see when I get to the part. It's very disturbing. But you are also listening to a podcast about murder, so you're going to hear some disturbing shit. But we're in this together, so here we go.
Yes, but if you don't feel like you can mentally handle it, I know your in-laws are probably over or coming over soon. Move away. We'll catch you next week. Or listen after Thanksgiving.
Right. So here we go. Michael Merhige was born in Florida in 1974 to parents Michael and Carol Merhige.
Already starting strong with the Florida.
Listen, as soon as you mention Florida, you know it's going to be a banger of a story.
It's going to be a banger. I'm in. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and listen.
Paul attended Gulliver Prep School in Miami, which is apparently a very affluent school for people who have lots of money. He was an honor student, and he even led the French Honor Society. In addition to excelling in academics, he was also a very gifted athlete. He played baseball, soccer, and also football. Paul was very good looking, he was popular, and he was poised for a really bright future. He actually wanted to become a doctor, so things looked really good for him in high school and, going into college. He was trying to keep that momentum going. Something that I found in my research that I found really interesting considering the outcome of his life was a high school yearbook page from Paul's yearbook that he actually wrote himself. And in this yearbook entry, he was just gushing over his huge family, and he said, and I quote, "I love you now and will forever." Again, this is what Paul wrote himself at the age of 17. By all accounts, everything was fine with Paul until he hit the age of 19. And that's when his mother alleges that he had a complete nervous breakdown and was subsequently diagnosed with severe depression and obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, despite all this, after graduating high school, Paul attended the University of Miami. Apparently, after graduating college, however, Paul is said to have really gone downhill very fast. It's apparently super common for mental illness to appear when an individual is in their college years. According to Kevin Beaver, who is a professor at Florida State University, mental illnesses are often triggered by stress and drastic life changes like going to college. So I'm thinking that with everything going on in his life and all the stress from school and just with an unknown future, that was a huge trigger for Paul. And we've actually seen this in another case too with Erica Seifert. Remember, she had a mental breakdown in college, and we see how that turned out for her.
And she even had her own scrapbooking store given to her by her parents, so she was well off as well.
Yes. When I was researching Paul's background, I could not help but think of Erica Seifert because there's a lot of parallels here. Now, due to his battle with severe OCD, Paul reportedly took repeated baths and would shave himself constantly. So he had an obsession with cleanliness, as we commonly see in individuals who suffer from OCD. Because of this and the depression that he was suffering, Paul basically could not hold down a job whatsoever. This, on top of the success of other family members, made him feel like a complete failure, which didn't do any favors for his mental health. It's said that he was very jealous of the success of his other family members, especially his sisters, and this was a huge point of contention within the family. People also noticed that Paul's good looks were starting to fade very rapidly. He started balding. His physique that he was known for was completely gone. He became obese. Again, this tends to happen with depression as people start to not really take care of themselves. The depression continued to get worse after Paul completely stopped taking all of his medications, and this led to not only suicide attempts, but threats against family members, including him threatening to kill one of his sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is according to a complaint that his sister filed with the court in 2006, but was withdrawn by her after she filed. Not exactly sure why the complaint was withdrawn, but she did withdraw it.
Because it was family and she was trying to preserve her family.
More than likely. Yep. Now, the threat against his sister was apparently 3 years prior to the murders.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
By 2009, at the age of 35, Paul was again living in his parents' condo, and he was completely financially dependent on his parents, Michael and Carol. He continued to become increasingly reclusive, and several sources stated that he was pretty much completely estranged from his family at this point. He kept to himself, and the housekeeper basically kept tabs on him and told his parents, what was going on with him, that he wasn't taking his meds, wasn't taking care of himself, etc. But his parents essentially just kept him in his own little corner and left him to his own devices. Out of sight, out of mind until he needed more money, I guess. So this brings us to November 26, 2009, Thanksgiving Day. Now this day was like any other Thanksgiving Day for the Merhige family. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, football, pumpkin pie, all of the Thanksgiving things. And this year, they were holding the Thanksgiving celebration at the home of Paul's cousin, Muriel Sitton, and her husband, Jim Sitton. Muriel and Jim's home was in an exclusive gated community in Jupiter, Florida, which I've never heard of. Jupiter, Florida?
I've heard of it only because I have family in Florida.
Oh, okay. And apparently Jupiter, Florida is just north of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So picture beautiful houses all decorated for the holidays. That was the vibe. Now, as I said before, Paul was estranged from his family prior to this, and he wasn't exactly expected at the family dinner, but he was presumably invited by his mother, Carol. Now, Jim, the person who was hosting the Thanksgiving dinner along with Paul's cousin, his wife, he was a little surprised that his wife's cousin was now coming to Thanksgiving dinner, as he had only met him twice before and hadn't actually seen him in about 10 years. But he didn't think too much of it because it's family and it's Thanksgiving. Like, of course they would open their home to family. That's what holidays are about, right?
Right.
Yeah. At the dinner, family members stated that Paul was very calm, and it seemed like things were going pretty well. The family, which included a total of 17 people, sat and ate for 3 hours, and everyone was reportedly having a great time. Everyone said there was no red flags, no arguments, no weird behavior from Paul, nothing.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. Yep. That's exactly what I thought.
Daggone.
Yep. A lot of food. Now, despite the family stating that nothing felt off, I did discover from multiple sources that Paul showed up over an hour late for dinner, and he sat there and didn't eat anything. I thought that was weird.
That's weird, especially on Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
At least pretend to pick.
Right. A family member that you haven't seen in 10 years shows up to your house for Thanksgiving dinner, shows up late, and then just sits there and doesn't eat. I don't know. I would personally find that weird.
I mean, and if they knew that he was going through some mental illness and stuff, like, they're probably trying to be so kind to him and trying to help him, like, through this and just doing their best not to judge.
Right, and I'm sure they wanted to seem as welcoming as possible.
Yeah.
After the dinner, the family sang Christmas carols together whilst gathered around the family's piano, and 6-year-old Michaela Sitton, who was Jim Sitton's daughter, practiced her dance moves for her role in the Nutcracker, which was to take place the very next day. Michaela also wrote cards for her family to say how thankful she was for all of them, and she hung them up on a clothesline.
This isn't going to go well.
No. After that, Michaela was tucked into bed for the night, probably dreaming about her upcoming performance in the Nutcracker and also how excited she was for her 7th birthday, which was just in a few days. Ultimately, what happens next is far from a dream. It's a total fucking nightmare. Hopefully I don't get emotional talking about this because some of this shit really bothered me. Ooh.
I don't think I want to hear it.
It's bad.
I'm triggered.
Yeah.
Already.
According to Jim Sitton, now he's the cousin-in-law who does ultimately survive the attack, Paul calmly walked out to his car. No one thought anything of this. And he then returned with a gun in his hand. He then proceeded to methodically shoot his family members one by one, starting with his sisters, Carla and Lisa, who were twins. Tragically, Lisa was pregnant.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Paul then turned the gun on his aunt, Raymond Joseph, who was 76 years old, then his brother-in-law, Patrick Knight, and then a male cousin named Clifford Gamarra. Before Paul shot his cousin-in-law, he said, and this is according to Jim, this is what Paul said, and I quote, "I have been waiting 20 years to do this."
For his brother-in-law?
That's what, according to his brother-in-law, that's what Paul said. That he'd been waiting 20 years to kill everybody.
Before he started open fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Paul then went into the bedroom of 6-year-old Michaela, who was sleeping, and shot her to death. Michaela was his final victim. Paul then fled the home in his blue 2007 Toyota Camry, and then there was no trace of him. A reward for $100,000 was offered for any information leading to his arrest. So, for a little over a month, Paul was completely MIA. Over a month, no one knew where this fucker was. Isn't that scary? And to kill a 6-year-old in their sleep, like...
I mean, first of all, my heart breaks for that whole family, that they even had to go through any of that.
I know.
And it sucks that Michaela, especially, had lost her life in this situation. I am trying to find a little bit of peace in the thought that she didn't feel any of it.
Yeah, she was sleeping.
That's
one consolation of this. And there is, I don't want to say that the story has a happy ending, but I did end it on a happy note.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind for everyone listening.
Deal.
I put some positive things in here because this is some heavy shit that really fucking bothered me, especially with Michaela, her being my daughter's age. It literally made me sick to my stomach. Doing the research for this was fucking awful.
I can't even imagine already. Mm-hmm. Why do you think I only research aliens and Bigfoot and shit?
It's hard. It's hard. So for a little over a month, Paul was completely MIA. He was ultimately identified by someone who watched his episode on America's Most Wanted, and he was apprehended at the Edgewater Lodge in Long Key, Florida on Saturday, January 2nd, 2010. In his motel room, investigators found a noose that Paul had made for himself. All I kept thinking was, thank God that they got there in time to arrest this fucker, because that ending would have been too good for him, in my opinion.
Agreed.
It really bothers me when people kill themselves after they've killed somebody else. It's like, you...
I know.
The trial of Paul Merhige was set to begin in January of 2012, 2 years after his arrest, and prosecutors vowed to seek the death penalty via lethal injection. After all, this is Florida. Florida loves to kill people. You kill somebody in Florida, Florida's going to kill you back.
Again, I just think they should do it in the same way that that person took the lives of whoever they took.
But I wouldn't want him to be shot in his sleep. Fuck that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No,
he needs to be tortured for this.
Say some weird quote and then just, I'm not even going to go into it because then I'll sound morbid.
But yeah, like I said, you kill somebody in Florida, Florida go and kill your ass back. In total, he murdered 4 family members, his sisters Carla and Lisa, his aunt Raymond, and his cousin's daughter Michaela. The other family members who were shot, thankfully, they all survived.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, not to get all political here, but I would like to know why Lisa's unborn child wasn't included in the murder charges. She was pregnant. He killed her while she was pregnant. That's 2 lives, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And in other court cases, it's brought up.
Yes, that part angered me.
Then again, it's Florida.
But Florida is very, like, pro-life, you know?
Yeah.
But you're not going to count the life of an unborn child? Make sense.
if they probably figured if he was going down for how many murders?
4.
So if he was going to go down for 4 murders and several attempted murders...
But fuck that. Add the baby on there.
I agree 100%, but they probably just figured like he's going down either way.
Yeah.
We've got enough crap on him. Like,
yeah. What do I know? I'm just some bitch.
Same.
On October 27th, 2011, just a few months before his trial was scheduled to start, Paul ultimately pleaded guilty to all 4 murders in an effort to avoid the death penalty, and was sentenced to 7 life terms for 4 counts of premeditated murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. And the premeditated part comes from him persistently inquiring about the location of the Thanksgiving dinner, who would be in attendance, buying guns before the dinner, packing extra clothes for himself, and also withdrawing $12,000 in cash.
And saying, I've been waiting 20 years to do this.
This was absolutely premeditated.
That's crazy.
He did not snap. It's not like somebody said something that triggered him. He planned this all out meticulously. But yeah, there's no disputing that he absolutely fucking planned this. Now, interestingly, this is not the first tragedy to take place in the Merhige family. In 1973, Paul's aunt, Salwa Merhige Abrams, murdered her ex-husband as well as their 2 children before killing herself by overdosing on barbiturates. That was just a little not so fun fact that I came across in my research. So not 1, but 2 family massacres for the Merhige family. Things that make you go, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Jim Sitton, who is Michaela's father, vehemently opposed the plea deal that was offered to Paul. He felt that Paul should have been forced to stand trial with the death penalty on the table. He wanted Paul to die for the murder of his 6-year-old daughter. The state and the judge held firm, however, with the DA stating that he believed that 7 consecutive life sentences was indeed appropriate in light of the, quote, heinous nature of the crimes. In researching this, I saw pictures of Jim holding up huge photos of Michaela in the courtroom, like begging the judge to reconsider. The judge basically got irritated with him, and apparently her father had to be like escorted out of the courtroom.
For trying to get justice for his daughter. Correct. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Sadly, the story doesn't end there. Things got really messy in the family after Paul was sentenced. After taking the plea deal, the estates of 3 of the murder victims, including 6-year-old Michaela, filed a negligence lawsuit against Paul Merhige's parents. And the basis of this lawsuit was essentially that Paul's parents knew that he had mental issues, knew that he had a history of violence, and that they were negligent in inviting him to that Thanksgiving dinner, thus making them also responsible for the murders.
What?
Yeah. Yep. So basically, Paul Merhige's parents were being sued by other members of the family because they felt that they were in part to blame for their son killing everyone.
What?
It's hard. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
I mean, thank you for breaking that down for me, because I was like, wait, what, how, who, what, when, why?
Exactly. And I wanted to get to the bottom of why they thought that this lawsuit was appropriate. So yeah, I was also confused about the basis for this lawsuit, because I thought, how can two parents be sued for the actions of their adult son?
Right.
How does that even make sense? I mean, I know it's Florida, but I did some research just so I could understand a little better, and here are some takeaways from that lawsuit. Apparently, Paul was deemed legally disabled by the age of 22 and began showing signs of violence and aggression as far back as the age of 20. The lawsuit also alleged that authorities were called to the Merhige home on at least 10 different occasions due to Paul's violence, threats, and refusal to take his psychiatric medications. He was also involuntarily committed 3 times under the Baker Act, and also attempted to commit suicide by shooting himself in the chest. He was disturbed. There's
Just a little.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
The most jarring accusation in the complaint is that it alleged that Paul's mother made a comment to other family members at the Thanksgiving dinner before Paul got there, stating that she hoped that her son, quote, doesn't come in and kill us all tonight.
I imagine she was probably just trying to make light of his mental health. Oh,
That's
God,
very
that
disturbing.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And remember, the Sittons had not invited Paul to Thanksgiving dinner. The mom did. The mom kind of had an inclination that her son had some homicidal tendencies or ideations.
Yeah.
She invited him to the house, gave him directions, gave him the address, all that.
Yeah.
So it's a very gray area, but I can see why they would have filed the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Especially having a 6-year-old daughter being murdered.
Yeah.
That would fucking infuriate me.
Yeah.
I would just want to, I'd want to hurt anyone I could.
I would lose my shit.
Yes. Yeah. So although I don't really agree with the lawsuit, I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
The South Florida Appeals Court ultimately ruled in 2014 that Paul's parents were not responsible for the actions of their son, who was an adult. Which I agree with. They're not.
They're not.
You're an adult. You are responsible for your own actions. You're responsible for your own mental health as well.
Right. And I mean, she probably, knowing what she knew, should not have invited him to the family Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. But as a mom, she was probably just trying to help him mentally. Correct. See people and socialize and just be normal for a night.
I think a lot of it has to do with intent, too. She had good intentions. She didn't have bad intentions. She didn't invite him knowing that he was going to come in with a gun.
Absolutely not.
I mean, and also, you have to remember, she lost family members, too. That was her family. Yeah. She lost 2 daughters because he killed his twin sisters.
And her unborn grandbaby.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's not like the mother wasn't hurting as well.
Right.
So the lawsuit just kind of added insult to injury to Paul's parents. So now I'm going to read an excerpt from the opinion just because I found it very interesting.
Okay.
And the opinion reads, quote, family members with psychological or behavioral problems are a common occurrence in Florida and elsewhere. Families should be encouraged to include a troubled family member in the family circle. A holding that the Merhiges owed a legal duty to the members of their family and extended family in this case would discourage families from providing a haven to troubled relatives for fear of civil liability. The result would be to foist those most in need of family interaction on the government and charitable social services networks, thereby thrusting a family problem into the hands of society at large, where unhappy outcomes are all too common. Difficult and tragic cases such as this one should not set the standard for the entire universe of family interaction.
Yeah.
So basically, the judges didn't want to set a precedence with this.
I get it.
Essentially.
I get it.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously a very gray area. I'm not even sure what I think of the outcome of the lawsuit. Like, part of me feels that, I don't know, maybe his parents do hold some kind of legal accountability. But again, their son's a grown-ass adult.
Well, like you said, I don't think they hold any legal accountability. Yeah. I think that maybe again, like you said, I think the mom was trying to have good intentions for her son and to try to help him. But I also think you never think someone that close to you is going to do that.
Especially your son.
Right.
I mean, you want to think the best of your kids.
Yeah.
Like,
and she lost 3 kids essentially 3 kids that day.
Did. Yep.
And for her family to put her through that additional stress and like, I don't know, manipulation almost, blaming her, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's really terrible. I feel very bad for her.
Yeah, it's just a tragic situation all around. There's no winners in this. Everyone's a victim in it. I mean, except Paul, of course. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Shooting a 6-year-old point blank in the head while she's sleeping in bed, like, get fucked, Paul. Seriously. Like, I hope that they serve him salmonella turkey every Thanksgiving while he's in prison. And I hope he gets fucking horrific diarrhea and that his butthole bleeds from it for weeks.
Did you write that in your script?
I did.
That's amazing.
Fuck that guy. Piece of shit.
Honestly, I hope that they put him in the same cell with Wade Wilson and he pisses him off. That's what I hope.
Oh, yeah, because Wade is in Florida, too.
Yep.
Fuck both of them.
Both of them.
Ugh. Now, like I said earlier, I wanted to end this on as positive a note as I could, considering the circumstances. I didn't want everybody to be super depressed before we sit down for our turkey on Thursday.
Fair.
And also, like I said before, this story, it really depressed me. This one was hard.
I know. I was pretty happy when we went into it. Now I'm like super bummed.
Well, you're going to get a little more happy after this. In 2012, Muriel and Jim Sitton, parents of little Michaela, welcomed a beautiful baby girl who they named Natalia Grace.
Aww.
Apparently, Natalia was Michaela's favorite name, so that was a nod to their daughter.
Aww.
And they nicknamed her our little rainbow baby.
Aww. That's amazing.
They said that Natalia Grace brings colors back into their black and blue lives. Isn't that cute?
And it's nice, too, that they're going to be able to keep Michaela's memory alive through Natalia.
Yes.
And tell her all about her sister and what a great big sister she would have been. And and hopefully Natalia will carry that throughout her life, too.
Yes. And 2 years after that, in 2014, the couple gave birth to yet another baby girl who they named Rayla. Isn't that a cute name?
That name is amazing.
I love that name. Rayla.
Rayla. It's like a ray of sunshine.
I know. That's what I thought. So by all accounts, Muriel, Jim, and their 2 girls are one big happy family filled with lots of love and laughter. And they're all doing pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy for them. To go through such tragedy, but end up with such blessings is pretty awesome.
It is. Because the entire time I was writing this up, all I could think about was if someone killed my daughter. I feel like I'm going to get emotional. If someone killed my daughter, I don't know how I would be able to continue living. I really don't.
No, listen.
I think I would, I don't know.
I am the same way. And you know what's sad about living in America is every day I drop him off at school. I know. Sorry. Every day I drop him off at school, I'm like,
that could be the last time you see them.
Listen, I say a prayer. I'm like, God, please keep him safe. Like, please don't let anybody hurt him. You know, it's so hard. And I don't want to be a helicopter mom.
I know.
But it's so hard not to be.
You have to now because, like, it just...
I mean, you and I also had to go through leaps and bounds to have our babies. Like...
Yes.
You know, we each have one. We don't have a backup.
Yeah. Yeah.
God forbid. Like, listen.
Not to get too personal, but Alicia and I both went through IVF at the same time to have our kids.
Yep.
And they're little besties too.
They're so cute.
They hang out.
They do.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And if either of us lost one of them, I just don't know how I would come back from that.
So if somebody ever did anything to Jackson, I would be that mom that, you know what I want to do? I want to cover her case for Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. But that mom that shot the guy in the courtroom.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking legend.
That would be me.
Into that courtroom and shot that fucker and killed him.
I probably would do the same thing.
And listen, if I was on that jury, she's walking.
Yep.
If somebody else was like, no, she needs prison time, you're going to have a hung motherfucking jury because I'm not agreeing with that.
Same.
Like I've said before, trauma makes you do things that you would not normally do. Mm-hmm. If someone hurt or killed my daughter, may the Lord be with them is all I'm saying.
I'm going to say, you know what?
You better make sure that they get to you before I do.
I'm going to say the Lord's not going to be with them. Because first of all, they're a piece of scum. And second of all, like you already know how I feel about, we had this conversation before, the whole death penalty thing.
Yeah.
Kill the way that you were killed or be killed the way that you killed.
Yeah.
Or be hurt the way that you have hurt. Whoo, child, let me tell you, it will not be pretty.
We are big mama bears over here.
I will fuck some shit up. I'm little, but I will fuck some shit up.
I'll fuck the whole world up. Mm-hmm. I will go door to door fucking things up.
We should run for president.
People would not be able to handle me as president. I would be way too much to handle, especially with men. Men do not tend to like me because I am very assertive, and a lot of men don't like that.
It's true.
Thank you for hanging with me, Daddy Terry. He's like the only man that can actually deal with me. And it takes a strong man to deal with me.
Yeah, it does. God bless Terry.
But yeah, just when you're sitting down for your Thanksgiving dinner, just remember, that a lot of people have lost very important family members to them, even on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Just be happy for what you have. Be thankful. Be grateful. Just, do something kind for someone. Do something kind for someone. Yeah. And this is off topic, but today I went to Walgreens and I had to pick up some wrapping paper for my nephew's birthday gift. So I stopped there this morning. Everybody on the East Coast remembers it as Happy Harry's. Sometimes I still call it Happy Harry's.
Happy Hizzles.
Yeah, but it's Walgreens now. The man who rang me up was an absolute fucking angel.
Aww.
He was an older man. He was so nice. He was like, I love your hat. How are you doing today? We had a great conversation. He was like, I love your laugh. You have the best laugh. And he said, I don't want you to think I'm hitting on you. I just really want to give you a compliment.
Aww.
And it was such a nice interaction. And I left just like with an extra pep in my step.
Yeah, I mean, that hat is badass. I love it.
And
it's cute.
And I thought about it and I was like, if everybody just paid one compliment to someone every day, it would make the world such a better place.
Yeah.
So just do that. I want everybody to give someone a random compliment. Doesn't matter if it's the person bringing you up, the person you're in the elevator with, going to your office, somebody you're talking to on the phone. Just give them a compliment. But yeah, do something nice for someone. Say something nice. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Just...
I'll tell you what I'm taking away from this. I know you said Michaela wrote little notes and hung them up of what she was grateful for.
Do that.
I think we're going to do that. I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to take a note from her and we're going to write what we're grateful for on a little Post-it note or something, and we're going to hang them on the wall.
Yep. Do that in Michaela's honor.
Yes, we absolutely will. My son and I last night were talking about being grateful because he had done a thing in school about being grateful and being thankful. And so I heard this before. I don't know from whom, but it said, want what you have.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of us get like, oh, I really want that. I really want that. I really want that. And we forget we have things that we wanted before, and we forget that still want the things that you have.
Yes. And we also have to remember that we have a lot of things that other people want.
True.
And that other people are like literally dying to have. We have them. So
lucky.
I know. As bad as things may get in your life, just remember someone always has it fucking worse. And there's someone out there that's probably praying for what you have.
Yep.
So be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Enjoy your turkey. Don't eat too much. You don't want to have gas.
I want to tell you this. So Gas X is magical. Or Beano.
Yeah.
Beano. Do you remember that stuff?
Yes, I do.
So I will tell you this too. Take pictures of your Thanksgiving spread and post them on our Facebook because we want to see them.
Not your literal spread, but like the spread on your table, the food.
I'm not trying to see taints. Correct. Unless they're bleached. I mean, just kidding. I don't want to see any taints at all. I want to see like the food spread. Okay. But actually freaking post them. We asked you guys to give us some Halloween costumes no one posted it. Well, to their defense, we didn't either. But I mean, I want to see some turkeys.
I do too. I want to see some bangers.
Yeah.
Turkey.
If you're a vegetarian, let me see the tofurkey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's see the stuffing without sausage in it.
Turdunkins.
That just sounds vile.
It does.
Sorry.
Stick a chicken inside of a duck inside of a turkey. How American is that?
All right. Well, God bless America.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Again, take pictures of your spreads. Your food spreads.
Not your taint.
And post them on our Facebook. We're at The Ghosty Girls on Facebook. You can't miss us.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah. Have a great Thanksgiving. We will see you next Tuesday.
Don't be one. Love you, mean it.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.